It's really interesting speaking of business on the game conference. Like, everybody understand that gaming is about having fun, and I will be talking about numbers, all this business stuff. I hope you will enjoy. I'm really enjoying this one, to be honest. Like, it's super valuable, and what I will be talking is how game businesses could be successful in Middle East and North Africa. This is an emerging market which has like a lot of potential. They do have infrastructure, they have government support, well, they have people. What's more important in this business, right? Well, it's important to introduce myself first, right? Well, I'm in video games for about 10 years. I've been with wargaming part of my career. I had a lot to do there and ended up as head of creative agency there. What we did is supporting marketing campaigns and content, all kind of it for all wargaming titles. Now I'm CEO of Playsense. Playsense is gaming creative agency. Among our clients, you will find Riot Games, Ubisoft, Nacon, Wargaming, King, and working with all those clients, well, it helped us to come up with a variety of solutions which help those companies be successful all over the world. Speaking of our success, last year we have launched the huge campaign for Valorant in Dubai. Well, I'm not shy here, it's one of the biggest, most successful campaigns in gaming that was launched in that region ever. Yeah, let's start with the region itself. So what's MENA? It's Middle East and North Africa. It has like a variety of countries, vast population, about 500 million people live there, and about 168 million of them could be considered as gamers. Today, I will be mostly speak about MENA. I will speak about MENA 3. MENA 3 is a region which includes Egypt, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. Speaking of the population of this particular region, it's about 150 mil, and about 45% of people play games there. So this is huge. Speaking of the market size, last year it was estimated about 1.8 billion, and by 2026 they expect it to grow up to 2.8 billion. Saudi Arabia is, well, it's pretty standalone matter, to be honest. Well, they expect to grow to 6.8 billion to 2030. The growth will be mainly driven by mobile gaming, by private and public investments, and by esports. So most likely Saudi Arabia is the next thing in esports. Well, probably it will be as big as China and Singapore in terms of esports right now. And it's interesting to know that 73% of all gamers there, they engage with esports on some level. They watch esports content, they play esports games. United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, they both ranked in top 10 countries for YouTube gaming in terms of engaging with the audience. Well, what else should we talk about here? I mean, if we speak about this 45% of gamers in the region, it's like huge amount. But the other important indicator here is this number of players, absolute number of players in MENA 3 will grow up to 87.3 million. And, well, you could ask, how huge is that? It's huge, obviously, but how huge? 87 is the population of Germany. It's also a population, combined population of Spain and Poland. And well, it's completely interesting stuff, you know. Just to highlight what's happening with Egypt, because I know like some people asked me yesterday, like, is it really something going on there? Yes, Egypt has the highest gaming population. They also have the highest ratio of those who play on mobile, though there are only 14% of people who play on consoles. Well, when we create games, we always think about future, and Egypt is the game. It's like it's a sandbox for testing your hypothesis, launching some new product there, as they have a significant number of players under the age of 25, and it means there are millions of people who were born there literally with tablets and mobile phones in their hands. And this is a huge opportunity for any game developer or publisher. In addition to that, speaking of the Emirates, they have the highest average revenue per user. Saudi Arabia is just like powerhouse of the region. They have the highest revenue. Well, what I'm hearing while discussing the matter of launching a product in MENA, like, we don't understand those people, they won't understand us. Look, there are 30 million expats living in MENA region, 30 million expats all over the world. And about 70%, more than 70% of whole population, they do understand, they are able to communicate in English. And well, I bet your game has English version, right? So this is just like an opportunity for you to launch game as it is there, and well, and we'll see. Speaking of the culture, people in MENA, they engage with pop culture a lot. This is like pretty similar what's happening around the world, and they do play D&D, they watch Marvel, Disney, read comics, manga, they listen to Spotify, so they interact with a lot of mediums, and they wanna, as like any person in this world, they wanna be entertained, and well, they want to express themselves creatively, and obviously video gaming helped them to do that. Just to highlight, when we speak about the environment, government like fully support all the stuff going on with gaming there. I have found a couple of news regarding the investments in gaming in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to read 3 of them. The first one. The Minister of Communications and IT announced more than 6.4 billion in Saudi investment in future technologies. It includes funding for esports and gaming. 6.4 billion. The second. The Saudi government recently announced plans to dive headfirst into the game industry with a 37.8 billion investment, and they hope it will jumpstart the game development in the Middle East. 37.8. Third, it is reported that Saudi Arabia will execute its plans to launch a Saudi Arabian game market, including acquiring a leading game publisher, as well as creating homegrown developers and building esports organizations in the Middle East. They expect to establish 250 video game companies and create 39,000 jobs. 250 game companies, 39,000 jobs. Well, those of you who are into sports, you do understand that one businessman from the Middle East have some passion, some interest in like what they do. Well, some of Middle East businessmen, they own PSG, Manchester City, Newcastle United, they've been making those investments for years, and they have the results, and they are not planning to slow down. It doesn't seem that they're planning to do so. Well, why can't they do the same with video games? Speaking of Emirates, it also has the gaming hub in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, they want it to be the biggest city for video gaming companies in the world. So they provide a number of benefits to do so. For example, it's like relatively easy to register a company there or hire a person there. Also, they offer 1 year free rent. They have 0 income tax, which is my favorite. Whereas 30% salary return per relocated employee if your team has a staff of 8 and you have 1 intern who graduated from the Emirates University. So it's pretty easy. And they also offer up to $500 million investment into development. And I know, like, among of you, there are people who came here to find some publishing support and for development investment. Look, like this, like exact opportunity where you can start doing that right now. Yeah, well. What else we are going to talk here? Yeah, so government there, they also have a culture and creative strategy in the Emirates. Well, it means they're planning to spend lots of money to animations, movies, comics, theater, fine arts, all kind of crafts. They bring like many talented people from the US and from Europe, try to help them settle down their creative businesses. So like it's kind of working. It's kind of working. Like couple of, I mean, like was it last year? They established a huge comics label. They like invested lots of money there, and they brought top people from Dark Horse or like from other top comics companies. So they're investing in their homegrown IPs. I mean, like there is a ground to, well, to build relationships with Middle East and with Northern Africa, and well, there are plenty of opportunities for everyone there. Okay. What else should you consider while entering MENA in 2023? I know it's recording, so in 2023. It's a relatively low level of competition. Local game developers, they're trying to find their niche yet. They produce games based on their personal experience, based on the region background and its setting. And there are plenty of educational games, casual games. Well, we with Playsense participated in a couple of industry events last year, and it was kind of interesting to chat with a developer there. When I asked them, like from marketing perspective, what are their plans to promote a game, they usually don't have an answer. It's just not considered or considered rarely. From that point, I understand, like here in DevGAMM, I also could find many people who are developing games and not thinking about marketing yet. Well, it's another dimension here in terms of number of publishers in Europe. If you're a developer, it's relatively easy for you to find a publisher. Like thousands of them are here, and they will help you with marketing. In MENA, there are few publishers to rely on. And in general, marketing is not used there as a tool to promote games. They use performance marketing on some level, but we understand that like only performance marketing is not enough for successful and long-running games. Some, like few companies in the region, they do promote their games. I mean, some global companies, they do promote their games there. Though they do it without targeted messages, just like mostly generic approach, and it doesn't help to gain the attention from the audience. What else you should consider going there? Localization. Not just localization, but culturalization. I have a good example. Abu Dhabi is a home of Ubisoft as well. Like, they established a culturalization office there about 10 years ago. And they do that to like be closer to their audience, and probably that's why most of their titles are successful in the region. But the example is huge. About 8 years ago, they launched the game The Smurfs in English. And they had only 400 players from MENA region, 400 players. When they adapted it into Arabic, 1.5 million players. So it's just from their first try. And it means, like, if you respect an audience, if you really show interest in them, if you're ready to do something for them, they will appreciate it, they will love it. This region was overlooked for years, and well, now it has everything to be successful there. Another thing what to consider is UX. I think that your UX team will be, well, they have lots of headache of thinking about how to adapt the UX, as Arabic is read right to left. So for example, I tend to look to the left side to find a certain button, and they tend to look to the right. It's also need to be addressed. Voiceover, if your game has a voiceover, you should take into consideration that each market is different, and like they have different approaches. Like, if you launch the same game in Saudi Arabia, in the Emirates, you should do it differently, because in Emirates, they have more colloquial and modern language, modern dialect, let's say. In Saudi Arabia, it's more traditional. They have different cultures, different approaches. And, well, you don't launch the same marketing campaign to France and the UK, do you? Because like the channels of communications are pretty different, and you need to speak with the audience on their language. Like, you should know that in Egypt, Facebook is still a big thing. Like, most of game content that they consume, it's coming from Facebook. And for example, in Saudi Arabia, they do that via Twitch and Discord. They like, as far as I remember, in Emirates, they rely on YouTube ads, and it's like working better, and it won't work in Egypt, for example. Yeah, speaking of dialects, don't work with some random person online, just a higher person in the region who will understand the dialect and the language, because like it will be bad if you make some mistake there. Also, what needs to be addressed here is the content of the game itself. It also should be adapted. They have restrictions of not using some sexual nudity things, while insulting of Islam or rulers of the government. And, well, you need to address all of it. For example, you remember back in the day when The Witcher 3 was released, they had the different language version for MENA and for Japan, with less blood, with less cruelty there. That's what the only way how they could release it. For example, God of War, it's been banned in Emirates for years. I don't know how, but Sony somehow managed to release Ragnarok there. The issue was because the title contained the word God in it. It's still banned in Saudi Arabia, though I would say the restrictions are coming more liberal year to year, and a couple of months ago, God of War Ragnarok got a rating by Saudi government. And, well, it doesn't mean anything, to be honest, though you don't rate a game if you're not gonna release it there, right? This is really important stuff. Well, I think we are super close to what I'm going to show you. About 25 minutes ago, I told that like this campaign that we delivered to Valorant is like one of the hugest in the region. So our well, I'll talk about it a bit. I'll show you the video, and I'll talk about it as well. Well, this is a campaign about revealing the new Valorant agent named Harbor. This agent is Indian. We had only 30 seconds to make the lasting impressions. Well, here you go. All right, so some technical issues sometimes it's happening, no worries. You can see what's happening there. So it's a 3D billboard. We have an agent there, he's Indian. It's like a busy city of Dubai. We do have the ceiling that is related to the Indian culture. By the way, there are like 4 million people who 4 million people from India who are based in Emirates. So it was a very targeted campaign. So we knew the audience. We really wanted to show the respect to them. When you watch a video, you will see that we added some, well, cricket bats there. Also this ceiling and cricket bats because like Indian like biggest sport is cricket. We also used here 2 3D screens. Like one is for text with Valorant, the second is for the agent himself. Speaking of what we achieved after that, well, so the reaction to the campaign was massive. It was massive not only in MENA, but around the world. Yeah, it was not only because of 3D billboard, right? Because we made this a very adapted message, very targeted visual, and well, people loved it. The video was like the number of views more than 8 million. The number of posts, tweets, publications more than 25K. And, well, we also had 500 million positive reactions under them. So this is, sorry, 500,000 reactions, too much, right? 500,000 reactions below them. What I really want to say here, I would encourage you to, well, rethink of what you do in terms of marketing in MENA region or in any region. You could chat with your marketing and publishing team, just ask them, guys, like, what we do there? How it is adapted? Is it even adapted? Like, why we need that? And I do believe that game developers should try and they should take the chance entering the emerging market, as MENA is, take the chance to, well, to gain new audience, to have new opportunities. Yeah, they will appreciate it. Just like what I learned from learning, working with this environment, if you truly respect the people, if you truly respect the traditions, if you really have an interest in them, well, they will strongly appreciate it. As the video is not working, I think that's it for today. I will share it somewhere. I will ask DevGAMM team to post it like somewhere in social media today. Yeah, just to highlight the part of adapting the game. It's not only happening in MENA, for example, or in Japan as with Witcher. It's also happening in Europe when Wolfenstein was released. They did have the adapted version in Germany without Nazi symbols there. They replaced it with some fictional ones just to be aligned with local law. This is what's happening in each region, so it's nothing new. This is what you as developers and publishers should consider. There are plenty of gaming events there as well, by the way. not making any referrals, but if you really want to make some great connections, there are many events in KSA, in Emirates. Well, there are like many franchises. Like people go there, like make networking each weekend. They have, I don't know, I chatted with a guy and he was telling me that he planned about 150 events during the year. And like it's huge. And like in general, in Dubai, you could visit, I don't know, 300 events at least. Not all of them are about gaming, obviously, but I think, as you heard me about what they do in terms of investment, well, there will be plenty of them soon. Please visit playsense.agency and our social media, you will find it there. You can Google Valorant 3D Billboard Arabia, put it on YouTube. It's super awesome. I really love it. It's what I'm proud of. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the attention, for your patience. I really appreciate you taking time to come. If you have any questions, feel free, or you can find me between sessions.